Have you ever met someone who treats their birthday like it's just another ordinary day? No party, no celebration, no big deal. While society often sees this as strange or even sad, psychology reveals something fascinating. These individuals might actually possess a level of emotional maturity and self-awareness that most people spend their entire lives trying to achieve. Let us dive into what is really going on in the minds of people who skip the birthday celebration. First, we need to understand that birthdays in modern culture come with a script. There's an expectation of attention, celebration, social media posts, and making the day feel special. But for some people, this entire production feels exhausting rather than exciting. It's not about being antisocial or unhappy. It's about something much deeper. Research in psychology shows that people who genuinely do and care about their birthdays often have what is called a low need for external validation. Their self-worth is tied to how many people remember their special day or how elaborate their celebration is. They've developed an internal sense of value that doesn't require annual reinforcement. This is actually a sign of secure attachment and emotional maturity. While many people measure their importance by birthday wishes and party attendance, these individuals have already internalized their worth. There's also the spotlight factor. For introverts and people with social anxiety, being the center of attention for an entire day can feel like torture rather than joy. The mandatory singing of happy birthday, the expectant faces watching you open gifts, the pressure to appear grateful and excited, all of this creates stress. It's not that they hate joy, they simply process attention differently. Their nervous system finds prolonged focus on themselves uncomfortable, even when it comes from a place of love. Another psychological element is what researchers call temporal self-awareness. Birthdays serve as emotional mirrors, reflecting not just our age, but our relationships, our progress, and our life expectations. For adults, birthdays can trigger existential reflection. They make us ask uncomfortable questions. Where am I in life? Have I achieved what I thought I would by this age? Am I where I'm supposed to be? For some people, avoiding the celebration becomes a way to avoid confronting these heavy questions. It's a form of emotional self-protection. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all birthday indifference is the same. There's a crucial difference between emotional maturity and emotional withdrawal. Some people genuinely feel secure and content without celebration. They practice gratitude daily, not just on one designated day. They maintain steady self-worth, whether it's their birthday or a random Tuesday. This is healthy indifference. However, others avoid birthdays because of past disappointment. Maybe they've been overlooked too many times. Maybe childhood birthdays came with trauma or neglect. So they build emotional armor, telling themselves it doesn't matter to protect against potential hurt. This is defensive indifference, and it comes from a different psychological place entirely. Studies on personality traits reveal another pattern. People who downplay birthdays often display what psychologists call a minimalist mindset. They see birthdays as symbolic rather than essential. Every day matters equally, so one day doesn't need special elevation. This reflects philosophical maturity and understanding that meaning isn't found in cultural rituals, but in consistent daily living. There's also the element of social awareness. People who keep birthdays low-key often possess high emotional intelligence. They recognize that big celebrations require time, energy, and money from others. They understand the burden of reciprocity. When you celebrate big, others feel obligated to match that energy. Keeping things simple becomes an act of consideration, not coldness. The gift-giving dynamic reveals even more. When someone genuinely says, "You don't have to get me anything," and means it, it shows they're not using material things to measure relationships. Their connections are based on presence, not presence. This demonstrates secure self-worth and freedom from transactional thinking. Ultimately, the psychology of people who treat birthdays like normal days teaches us something profound. True self-worth doesn't need annual validation. Genuine connection doesn't require performance. And emotional security means feeling valued on ordinary days, not just special ones. So the next time you meet someone who doesn't celebrate their birthday, don't assume something's wrong. They might have simply reached a level of inner peace that others are still searching for.